Hope everybody's doing really well today. I'm here to do a really fun video, at least in my humble opinion. I will be chatting to you today about Cottagecore coloring books. While chit-chatting, I'll be coloring in Hannah Carlson's new book. So she has released like a kid book or a child, I don't know, child book since then, but this is her newest adult book. I always forget the English translation. It's like something Starry Night, Trip to the Starry Night, Night Starry Adventures. I don't know. I always forget, but it's the new black cover book that she has. I am doing a picture in here that I have already started, but I haven't finished it yet. And I need to because it's a buddy color with, I believe her YouTube is a Cluttered Colorist. Let me double check and get back to you. The YouTube channel is A Cluttered Life. I will link it down below. She has finished her picture, so you could see it in her May completed pages. I obviously haven't finished mine yet, but I would really like to. But anyways, all of the books that I'm going to talk about today will be linked down below. But before kind of getting started on the books, I do want to maybe, quickly read a little blurb about what Cottagecore is, if you're not too familiar with the concept or you have no idea what it is. And again, I will also link this website that I'm reading off of down below if you wanted to read more. There's a whole article about it. But it says Cottagecore, also known as Farmcore and Countrycore, is inspired by a romanticized interpretation of Western agricultural life. It is centered on ideas of simple living and harmony with nature. Other themes associated with Cottagecore include self-sufficiency, the romanticization of domestic labor, and caring for people. So it's a very aesthetic, heavy kind of, I don't want to say movement, but it's definitely trend. And I'm not going to lie, I've also kind of fallen sucker to it. I enjoy a good aesthetically pleasing video on Cottagecore. And if you haven't seen any videos, YouTube is full of them. I would highly recommend. I find them to be super relaxing. And I honestly just want to decorate, sip tea, and read books. But anyway, so now that you kind of get an overview of what Cottagecore really is, right? It's really about being at peace with nature and kind of the simple living in a nutshell. So the first book I'm going to talk about is by Jen Racine. And I know she has a couple other books. One of them, or a couple of them, are actually really popular here on ColorTube, YouTube for coloring, whatever you want to call it. And the one I have in mind is called the Modern Cottage Collection. There are 40 pages in there, and if you go on Amazon, you can see a preview, and you will, on the back, you'll see it's kind of very folk art style. I also kind of get Scandinavian art style from it. But for example, this book has really thick black line work, so alcohol markers would be fantastic. And in her other books, I have seen people do a lot with alcohol markers. But I thought this would be a good fit for a Cottagecore book because it has a lot of really sweet animals in there, but then also a lot about nature. So I think this would be a really cute book. And if you're, maybe not sure and a little scared about purchasing from maybe newer or unknown artists because you don't want to be accidentally supporting ripped off art or anything like that, Jen Racine is a known artist, and her artwork is authentic and really cute. So, and it says, unwind and relax with cottage, nature, and simplicity inspired artwork. Tell me that does not sound so cozy and I just honestly want to go to a park, grab my pencils with me, and just color out under the sun. Except for it's actually raining here today, so that will be highly unfortunate. Moving on to a book by editors of Ulysses Press. So I'm assuming not an artist, right? But a printing company. But it's called Cottagecore Coloring Book. Coloring pages of cottagecore wildflowers and the pastoral lifestyle. Have never heard that word before, pastoral. The cover is super adorable, super sweet. You do get a preview on Amazon, and it looks like it has some like country scenes, but also has some florals. I do have to say on this one, do take a look at the preview, because this art style will not be for everybody. Kind of the outdoor scenery. There's a picture of a woman with a cow like in a field, and it's kind of like a grainy art style or printing style, I don't know. So definitely take a look at this one. And I have never purchased anything from this printing press, and honestly haven't heard of anything from this printing press. So, you know, if you decide to go for this one, maybe do a little bit of research on your own as well. But I just thought the cover was super duper cute, and the description sounds good. So please do your own research on that one as well, but it looks really cute. It says, relax and enjoy the simpler things in life as you color through detailed illustrations of quaint cottages, yes please, blooming gardens, and other delightful cottagecore scenes. So there are about 20 images in here, and there's one review. Sorry. Overall, it has a 4.3 out of 5 star review, so that's very promising. There's only one like commented review, and it's 5 stars, and it was somebody from Canada earlier this year. So the reviews seem promising, and the book is $9.53, and that is in US dollars. So again, if it sounds interesting, do check it out and make sure you take a look at the preview, because it's kind of a different artistic style. But moving on to a quite new book, actually. It's called Cottagecore Galore, a timeless coloring book, and it's by Katie Vaz, V-A-Z. I hope I'm saying that right. And it says, curl up by the fire or settle down at a picnic and enjoy coloring these delightfully cozy pages. Oh, yes, please. In Katie Vaz's Cottagecore coloring book. So again, you do get previews, and some of these pages, I do have to say, are a little bit more wallpapery, but in the sense that, for example, there's just like laid out flowers, so you're kind of coloring the same flower over and over again, but it's not necessarily a pattern. There's also a page of cupcakes, so you are coloring a cupcake over and over again, but it's not like one of those like tiny wallpaper pages. Like I know some of the Disney books, I think like the Disney Villains, one of the many Disney Villains books out there has that. So this one looks really cute. There's also a page with like that's knitting themed, so maybe if you are into knitting, seems wonderful. And then also this book looks really nice in the sense that it has images kind of maybe for all seasons. So for example, I personally wouldn't want to color anything that has to do with knitting right now, because it's, you know, it's finally getting warm here, even though it is raining, but besides the point. But, you know, during the colder months, yes, please. But it also has pictures of like flowers and outdoor scenery that maybe you could color during the warmer months if you are in agreement with me that it's like, I would be a little weirded out to color knitting things. But also, who knows? Anyways, this book is currently $12.99. It also has some really good reviews star-wise. It looks like it has, let's see, it has 14 ratings. And overall, it has, let's see, a 4.6 out of 5. So, that's pretty great. And Katie Vaz has like a whole author, like block of like information about her, so you can also maybe read a little bit more about the artist, because I haven't seen anything by her before, or maybe I have and I've just forgotten about it. But yes, this book looks very sweet and something for all seasons, but it is definitely very nature heavy. So I feel like also, maybe if nature is not your favorite thing, I don't know if cottagecore will be up your alley. Maybe, you know, definitely don't disregard it. But this book is nature heavy. And I don't know how I feel about this lighter Brute Thunder pencil. I feel like it's a tad scratchy, but I will go in and add more shading after as well. So moving on to a book that hasn't actually been released. It's coming out later this week or next week, my apologies. And it's a Creative Haven book, and it's called Simple Pleasures, the Cottagecore lifestyle coloring book, and it's by Jessica Mazurkiewicz, who we all know and love and adore, at least I do. So again, it's being released on June 15th, and this is the only book in this video that is yet to be released. The initial price is $6.99, which is pretty standard for Cottagecore, for Creative Haven, right? So the images are going to be single-sided, and there's 31 images. And it says, escape to an idyllic life in the countryside with the gorgeous Cottagecore themed coloring book, inspired by the romantic English countryside. So the cover alone, super adorable, so green. I feel like if you're gonna go for one of these books, you have to make sure that your green color pencils or markers are nice and sharpened and available. Definitely a lot of nature, a lot of greenery, which obviously I like, even though I did go for more of a, like an aqua bluish green. But again, separate topic. On Amazon, you can see a preview. There are some really cute animals. There's a picture with like little duckies and a sheep and chickens. There is a really beautiful like doorway with flowers and a wreath and stuff. There is some, gosh, like not, I want to say internal photos, but that sounds so weird. Like inside the house. Gosh, internal, goodness gracious. There's some interior pictures in here as well. There's also one of like an open window and a pie, and very cozy, very cozy. And I feel like it's a little bit more on the detailed side compared to what I've seen from her before. I don't know, I could be imagining that, but in my opinion, it's a little bit more detailed than some of her other books. I only have one of her books, but it's definitely more detailed than the one I have from her. But again, if you're a little skeptical about, you know, maybe trying out new artists, give this one a try, because Jessica Mazurkiewicz, again, has been around for a while. You kind of know what to expect from her, and you know it's going to be of a good quality. You know what the paper is going to be like since it's from Creative Haven. So I guess this is more of a safe choice, but that does not make it a bad choice by any means. I think it's very, very sweet and a very cozy coloring book, as all of these are. That's kind of why I picked them. Moving on to something, oh, it's another Jen Racine book. Didn't even realize that. So when I was putting together this list, right, I, of course, started off by just looking up Cottagecore coloring book on Amazon, but then I also wanted to branch out a little bit to provide, you know, maybe more useful tips. So something that I have talked about before on my channel, and something that is really true and dear to my heart, and I might be saying this wrong, but it's the concept of hygge, Hygge, and it's a Danish word. It's a Danish concept that I would highly recommend also reading about. Again, I've talked about this on my channel, and it's something, it's a concept, and kind of, maybe I guess some people say a way of a lifestyle, but it's really, really heavy on focusing on the small things in life, and kind of, you know, the small happinesses or the small happy moments in our lives that just generally contribute to a feeling of joy and well-being, physical and emotional and mental. So would highly recommend reading up on hygge. I've read a couple of books on it, and I just find it to be so fascinating. But anyways, so when I was putting this list together, I figured, you know what, I would also include some hygge coloring books, because the concepts I feel like are quite similar and focus a lot on nature and just joy and being outdoors and simple lifestyle in a nutshell. So with that long introduction, The first book, again, is by Jen Racine, and it's called Time to Hygge. There are duplicates in here, so there are 2 sets of images. But there are 25 original and then duplicates, so you do get the 50 pages. You can see the back page, and it has very sweet art. It has like a page dedicated to like baked goods. There's a picture dedicated to like hot drinks like coffee and tea. There's another knitting page, shocker, shocker. So very sweet, very adorable. I do feel like this one might be a little bit more aimed towards the colder months, but doesn't mean that you can't be cozy during the warmer months as well. But again, Jen Racine does wonderful, wonderful artwork. There's one book of hers that a lot of people have, and it has like a bear on the front wearing a really cute sweater. I hope that resonates with some of you. But the book is currently on sale, not much, but it's a little bit on sale. It's currently $6.99, so you're saving 98 cents. So that's Time to Hygge by Jen Racine. So moving on to the next one, and it's actually also by Jessica Mazurkiewicz. And this is the book that I was saying that, you know, I only have one book by her, and it's this one. It is called Happy Home, a Hygge coloring book. It has been on my channel multiple times. I believe I did a full flip of it back in the day. I have done multiple pages in there. I think it's super duper cute. It is, again, more aimed towards the colder months. I tend to mostly work in that book fall and on. I honestly will not be picking it up during the summer just because basically every page has like either knit socks or scarves or like hot cocoa, and that's just not that's not the mood that I'm in, because it's finally warming up here and I want to embrace that. But if you live in a colder climate, or if you live somewhere where it's becoming wintertime, or if you just enjoy coloring comfy, cozy, winter-themed images year-round, you know, all the power to you. It's just a great book. And this is a book that I will definitely be holding on to, and I'm not planning on passing it on anytime soon. As you might know, I do declutters quite often, but this is one that has stuck around and kind of passed all of my declutter so far with literally zero thought, because I really, really like this book. And the Danish term hygge basically means coziness and celebrates the things that bring pleasure and joy. Exactly. There are 31 images, typical Creative Haven style, no duplicates, single-sided, perforated pages. So highly recommend checking this one out. It is an older book. It's from 2018. And honestly, I don't know if I've ever seen it on anybody else's channel. And I'm not trying to make myself seem very unique and off the beaten path or anything like that. I just think this book deserves more appreciation and more love because it is really, really cute. It is currently $5.99. So moving on to a book by New Seasons. It's one of those like simple 1, 2, 3 color and frame books. I've talked about them before on my channel in some of my like newly released coloring books videos, because they do release books quite often. But the one I had in mind is called In the Forest. It's back from 2015, so definitely an older one of their books, but it is very nature themed, as you can guess with it having a title as In the Forest. So I thought this would be a great fit for the cottagecore trend, feeling, vibe, whatever you want to call it, because it is so nature centered. And I thought it was also a great one for this time of year. You know, spring, summer, everything is finally coming into life. It's been absolutely amazing to see all the freshly blooming flowers, all the trees and everything, you know, just kind of take a breath again, right? So this book immediately stuck out to me because it has all these amazing images of greenery and flowers and of course cute animals. And since it's an older book, I feel like it can easily get lost on somebody's radar. Because let's be honest, we all want the newest, coolest thing. And quite often, I'm very guilty of this. I will forget or potentially even disregard older books. And that's not really nice. That's not really nice, right? So I wanted to definitely shout this one out because also it's only $6.99. You know, this company is known for their books. You know, it's authentic, and it has a trash panda on the front. So you kind of have to love it. Again, everything is linked down below, but it's a really sweet one. So moving on to a book by Samantha Wagner. Be honest, I've never seen anything else by her or heard of anything else by her, but it has really good ratings on Amazon, which is fabulous. And the book is called A Relaxing Coloring Book, Cottage Garden Whimsy, and has a beautiful teacup on the front. So you do get a preview of a couple pages, and it's floral heavy. It's very floral heavy, but it has very simple to very simple to minimal/no backgrounds, flowers, berries, beautiful vases, bird. I'm assuming there's going to be quite a few birds in here. So if you're not a bird enthusiast or you just don't enjoy seeing birds, maybe tis not the one. But it looks very sweet. It does look like something you could incorporate your alcohol markers on. You know, some of the details might be a little bit small, but for the most part, I think you could utilize your alcohol markers on this one. So description-wise, it says, in these pages, you'll find a wonderful, whimsical world of garden treasures based on the 19th century embroidery designs. Grab a cup of tea, your favorite pens or pencils, and soon you'll find yourself transported to the serene floral setting of a 19th century cottage garden. How sweet. Let's see if it says how many images there are. So they're single-sided and there are 30. Wonderful. So 30 images, single-sided. It is $6.99. I can't remember if I mentioned that. And it's from last year. It's from 2021. So again, I've never actually seen this on anybody's channel. I could have easily missed it. But it is always nice to, you know, kind of maybe give a little support to artists that are a little less known. Because again, I'm also very guilty of this. I always go for the exact same artists. So anyways, that is Cottage Garden Whimsy by Samantha Wagner, and looks adorable. Again, you'll definitely have to make sure that you have plenty of green pencils and or markers, assuming that you want to color things in realistic colors, which you by no means have to do, but it's very, very greenery centric. Because, I mean, let's be honest, it has the word garden in it. And the last book I'm going to talk about, it's another Jen Racine. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize this was a very Jen Racine specific video. But this book is called The Plant Parent Coloring Book. Beautiful houseplant love and care. And since kind of a lot of these books have been focusing on the outdoors, I also wanted to pick something out that was more inside the home, because, you know, you don't have to always leave your house, right, to kind of find that peace or that relaxation. So that's why I also wanted to talk about this book. It's from 2020 and it is currently $6.99. Has fabulous reviews. It has 633 ratings and over 4 stars. It looks like about 4.5 stars. So that is great. Like, that is fantastic. Yeah, and I guess the third Jen Racine book, but you can't see a preview. And as promised, it's just a bunch of houseplants. And it does give you the name of the plant, so you can look it up if you wanted to try and color it more authentically, or maybe even just get to know a little bit about the plant. So each plant also comes in a pot, so you will also be able to color the pot and the plant. There is no backgrounds, so you can either create your own, or you can, of course, just do none of it. I have been kind of cheating and doing a lot of just black backgrounds, so I will just black everything out. That is my attempt at a background. It is what it is. So let's see what the description is on this one. houseplants come in an array of colors and tones and make beautiful colored pictures. This book is a great way for seasonal plant lovers to celebrate their favorite varieties, as well as for newcomers to gain knowledge of indoor plants. Sounds wonderful. I think plants are very interesting, and I'm actually trying to learn a little bit more about the plants that grow like in the wild here, but not really in the wild, but you know, not house plants in my area. So this book also definitely stuck out to me for that, because you can color, have a lovely time, but then also learn a little bit. There are 30 illustrations. As far as I can see, there are no duplicates. So 30 images for $6.99 seems pretty good. And yeah, I mean, I didn't even realize, again, that this was a very generous scene heavy video, but it sounds like if you like this type of books, maybe she would be a good artist to just check out in general. But thank you so much for watching. That is it. I believe it was 9 books that I wanted to talk about. If you like this kind of video, I'm more than happy to do a part 2, because I loved looking these up. I had a great time. But yeah, this is what my image kind of looks like now. I will go in and add more shading, but this page is taking me quite some time. I have only one done so far in here, and it's from, I think last month, April. It's from April. So yeah, oh, you can't even see the bottom. But yeah, that's kind of what I have so far on this image and this on this one. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Again, everything, like the coloring books as well as the article I kind of read a little bit at the beginning, is linked down below. And I'll see everybody in the next one. Bye.